I'm sure Diddy wishes he had never met a girl by the name of Cassie. Cassie's name is contributing to businesses cutting ties with Diddy. Diddy just lost $1 billion from a British company. Yes, they already have paid him $1 billion. They cited Cassie's name as a reason to cut all business ties with Diddy. They said these allegations from all these women prove that Diddy is toxic. Let's get into how Diddy walked away from $1 billion. Remember that program during the pandemic called Some Good News? Well, for Diddy, it's some more bad news. Diddy's world is unraveling from the legal chaos, shattered business partnerships, and now $1 billion loss from his most profitable business venture yet. We can agree 2023 was a bad year for Diddy, especially the last 2 months made it a year of reckoning. The women he belittled, he viewed as objects, shook and cracked his foundations. Talk about that crazy detailed lawsuit from Cassie. It shook all of us. I know it shook me. And 2024 is not going to be any different for Diddy. It's some more bad news for him. Life is definitely catching up with this man, and the legal chaos continues. So what am I talking about? Today we learn Diddy's empire is on the brink of collapse. Diddy just walked away from $1 billion. $1 billion, guys. Who walks away from $1 billion? Well, Diddy just withdrew a lawsuit against Diageo, a London-based spirits company. And by spirits, I mean liquor. They own Casamigos, a tequila company that was once owned by George Clooney. They bought it from him for $1 billion. They own Ciroc, the liquor Diddy was promoting. We thought it was all his, but we'll get back to that. They own DeLeon, for you guys that drink liquor. They own Smirnoff, they own Guinness, and many other liquor brands. So Diddy sued them back in June 2023. And yes, we just learned today that Diddy decided to withdraw this lawsuit. But why? He made $1 billion from this business partnership. What was the lawsuit all about? Why did he walk away? And I mean walk away with absolutely nothing. No strings attached, no ownership. How do you walk away from something that made you a billionaire? Something that paid you $1 billion over your partnership, and you're like, I'm just gonna withdraw my lawsuit and I'm gonna walk away with nothing and you're gonna own everything. It's telling me that there's a lot Diddy has to hide. You know, when you file a lawsuit, it's not only about the claims that you make against the defendant. There's also what you call discovery. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know. But a lot can come out during the trial, right? And knowing what has been going on with Diddy, all these lawsuits with women, I think there's something he's scared of. Anyway, guys, before we get to Diddy walking away from $1 billion like he was walking away from $1 and how all of this came to be, I want to say thank you to the returning subscribers. I truly appreciate you so much for your support. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. You're gonna love it here. And to all of you, don't forget to like the video. It does help with the algorithm. And please leave your opinions in the comment section below. That too helps with the algorithm. Anyway, so let's get to how Diddy and this London-based liquor company Diageo got into business in the first place. So Diddy, as most of us already know, Diddy, whose real name is Sean Combs, is one of the most successful and influential people in music and entertainment. He's won multiple Grammy Awards. By the way, talking about Grammys, he's not attending the Grammys in February 2024. And Diddy founded Bad Boys. He launched his own clothing company named after him, Sean John, which is no longer carried by the giant retailer Macy's because of all these lawsuits he had last year with women, and he has invested in different businesses. But one of his most lucrative ventures was his partnership with this liquor company, Diageo, the pronunciation, a London-based company that owns some of the most popular and prestigious brands of alcohol in the world. Like I mentioned, they have Casamigos, once owned by George Clooney. They also have Johnny Walker and many others. One thing we can say about Diddy, he can spot good business opportunities, like that's why the guy has money. But it just so happens to be that he's not a good person to his artists and obviously the women he dates. But anyway, let's go back to this business venture. So Diddy and Diageo started working together back in 2007 when Diddy became the face of Ciroc vodka. I actually thought that was Diddy's company. But anyway, Ciroc was struggling to compete in the US, so Diddy agreed to promote and market Ciroc in exchange for a 50% profit share. Guys, 50%. And according to Diageo, Diddy only invested $1,000. I mean, obviously his time promoting and marketing, but financially he only invested $1,000. But anyway, it paid off. The time he invested definitely paid off because, oh boy, did he deliver. Under his influence, Ciroc became one of the fastest growing and most profitable vodkas, not only in the US, but worldwide. They generated hundreds of millions, I mean billions of dollars in sales and revenue for both Diddy and Diageo. Win-win. This helped Diddy become a billionaire. Diddy did not only market and promote this liquor, he also helped create flavors and varieties for Ciroc, such as peach, coconut, apple, and many more. And that's why I thought it was his company, because he heavily promoted this company. But hey, 50%, maybe I would too. So Diddy and Diageo definitely look like a perfect partnership. They were making billions. Because of the success of Ciroc, they decided, you know what? Let's take advantage of this. Let's expand it. And in 2013, they formed a joint venture to buy, market, and sell another liquor owned by the same company, Diageo. But this time, Diddy was going to help promote DeLeon, right? They were hoping to replicate the success of Ciroc. So things to take note of when it comes to Ciroc and DeLeon as it pertains to Diddy and his interest in the two. When it comes to Ciroc, Diddy was helping promote and market the liquor, especially in the United States. It was just wildly successful worldwide. Diageo was using Diddy as an influencer that was getting 50% of the profits when it comes to Ciroc. Things change. Diddy is more invested when they get into this joint venture in 2013, acquiring DeLeon Tequila. He's not only an influencer. He's not only promoting and selling it. There's ownership. He is invested. This is something he can pass down to his children. But that comes with obligations from both parties, from Diageo, for the company and of course from Diddy. And as I said before, they are hoping to replicate the success of Ciroc and make billions of dollars. Good. As Diddy put it, when he was working for Ciroc, it's as if he was dating Ciroc. But when it comes to this 2013 venture, it was like a marriage, he said. It was a lifetime. But things did not go as planned. DeLeon failed to take off in the US and it faced stiff competition from other tequila brands such as Don Julio and Casamigos. Now remember, as I said in the beginning, Casamigos was also owned by Diageo. They acquired it from actor George Clooney. So Diddy felt like these were competing, owned by the same company. This is where the problems and troubles start between the partnership. So the honeymoon phase is over between Diddy and this company, Diageo. Diddy's feeling like they're not treating him fairly now that they've gotten into this joint venture where he has ownership. So in May 2023, Diddy filed a lawsuit against the company, accusing them of neglecting DeLeon, the joint venture where he has ownership, and accusing them of favoring other tequila brands such as Don Julio and Casamigos. Once again, I'll keep reminding you, and there's a reason why I'm reminding you, because you're gonna hear what he said. Casamigos was acquired from George Clooney. Diddy went on to claim that the company breached its contract with him and failed to provide adequate support and resources for DeLeon, such as advertising, distribution, and shelf space. Now, some of you may not know that companies rent shelf spaces in grocery stores as well as liquor stores. Diddy also alleged that the company engaged in racial discrimination, saying that the company classified Ciroc and DeLeon, which were the two liquors that Diddy was promoting, the company classified Ciroc and DeLeon as black brands that should only be marketed to urban consumers, while Don Julio and Casamigos were considered white brands. Remember Casamigos? George Clooney. They said these white brands from George Clooney, Casamigos, and Don Julio should be marketed to the mainstream consumers. Now, this is why I said, although we don't agree with how Diddy does things, especially how he treats women and his artists, it doesn't mean we should run and support this company, especially if these claims are true. Diddy went on to say this was unfair and insulting. It hurt the sales and reputation of Ciroc and DeLeon. Now, I do have a problem with this statement from Diddy's lawsuit, but again, it's the reality that we live in, and so sad in 2023 that when a product is labeled black, it means it's bad and the sales go down, and a product being labeled black hurts its reputation. Isn't that sad? When it's labeled a white brand, it means good. Labeled black brand, it means bad. We need to change that. Anything that is black owned, black labeled, you need to put in your black dollar, because your black dollar is stronger than you think. Anyway, Diddy was demanding $1 billion in damages from the company, as well as full ownership rights of Ciroc and DeLeon, which he says he deserved for the time, contribution, and investment made. Diddy also said he was ready to expose the company's shady business practices to the public. So these were some of the claims in Diddy's lawsuit against Diageo, this British-based liquor company that owns over 100 liquor and alcohol, brands. So how did the company Diageo take to this lawsuit and some of these disturbing allegations from Diddy? Well, they were not backing down. They fired back. They were so mad that in June 2023, they announced they were ending all partnerships with Diddy and cutting all ties with him. They obviously denied Diddy's allegations and said that he was the only one, Diddy, who breached his contract and tried to blackmail the company for more money. The company also said that Diddy was paid nearly $1 billion over the course of their 15-year partnership, but he only contributed $1,000, they said. They also claimed that he refused Diddy to honor his commitments. So he just wanted to play around, let them do all the work, the investment. All he wanted to do was promote instead of what was agreed in the joint partnership. The company also said that Diddy had no stake or claim to Ciroc and DeLeon, and that they were the sole owners of those two brands. Diageo also went on to say they had no intentions of settling with Diddy because he was trying to blackmail them for more billions of dollars to drop this lawsuit. But they said, let's go. We will fight you in court and prove that you are wrong. The company said, we are so disturbed and disappointed by Diddy's behavior and that we no longer have respect for him. The company said they were moving on without Diddy and that they had no regrets about their decision. This is where they went to now enemies. Imagine, they were partners making billions of dollars. Diddy made close to $1 billion from them, to now they were enemies, and Diddy was not backing down either. He was ready to fight them. He also said, okay, let's go. I'm about to expose you. Let's go. The company did agree they're going to change some of the wording, how they described Ciroc and DeLeon. I don't know what these inside memos said, and they somehow considered they needed to change some of the language in their in-company memos, which leads me to believe there's some truth to what Diddy was saying, that obviously if you were using things like Ciroc urban consumers and Casamigos mainstream consumers, you're kind of sort of saying the same thing Diddy was saying. But anyway, so Diddy was ready to fight. He was not backing down. In June or July, the company filed a motion to dismiss the discrimination part of Diddy's lawsuit. The court system refused because the company had considered that they needed to change some language, which also made the judge believe there was some truth to what Diddy was saying. So Diddy was already winning the small battles within this huge lawsuit where he wanted not only $1 billion, but full ownership of Ciroc and DeLeon. So how do we go from July 2023? Diddy is doing well in this lawsuit. They haven't yet gone to trial, but it looks like things were going in Diddy's favor. So then come to January 16, 2024, we learn that Diddy has decided to walk away from all of it. Why? As mentioned, Diddy was having these small victories as they were going through the motion of this lawsuit. But then, come January 16, 2024, Diddy and this company, Diageo, make an announcement they have reached a settlement. But hold on, I know settlement usually means payment, right? They make the announcement they have reached a settlement and agreed to resolve all matters amicably. Diddy withdrew his allegations and lawsuits against the company, and Diageo, the company, kept full ownership rights of Ciroc and DeLeon, which Diddy no longer held any stake in. You're like, what? Diddy was suing for $1 billion in damages and asking for full ownership of these two liquor brands, Ciroc, vodka, DeLeon, tequila. Now, although they didn't disclose disclose the full terms of the settlement, they did make a joint statement saying they had no ongoing business relationship. In this joint statement, they went on to wish each other well and thanked each other for their past business relationship. I'm not really concerned about the company because they were the defendant, right? They didn't file the lawsuit, so they were just glad that Diddy was withdrawing this lawsuit. The bigger question here is, why did Diddy withdraw the lawsuit? It looked like he may have won at least something, if not payment, but then to just walk away from all of it. The obvious reason could be cost, right? It takes a lot to sue, especially if you're fighting a multi-billion-dollar company. They said they were not backing down. They claimed that Diddy was trying to blackmail them. So maybe he was using the lawsuit as a threat for them to pay him money. And once he saw that this was not gonna work, he said, no, let me go. But remember, this lawsuit was done middle of last year, 2023. Cassie came by November, December 2023, and the floodgates of negative press, how he treats women. We've always heard about how badly he treated his artists. On top of that, it's been from one bad thing to the next to the next. What Diddy didn't want is one more lawsuit going to trial, even though he's the one who filed that lawsuit, right? You know that this company was going to use any and everything they could to show Diddy has shady business practices. In their response to the lawsuit, they already said he had been trying to blackmail them for more money. And at this point, even if he's right, especially when it comes to the discrimination part of the lawsuit, nobody is going to believe Diddy. This was going to do more damage to his reputation, especially with his other business ventures that are still there. Remember, last year, 2023, he already lost 18 plus business partnerships. Macy's was no longer carrying his clothing line. Revolt forced him to step down as a CEO, and many more. This was one more headache Diddy didn't need. So he decided to walk away from $1 billion. Look, I wonder what the company had on him that he was willing to say, okay, I don't want to do it anymore. So it was Diddy's decision to walk away from this. So there you have it, guys. That's the story of Diddy and Diageo, how they went from successful partners to enemies to now saying we are frenemies. I don't know, what do you guys think about Diddy walking away from this? We already know his personal integrity, anything that's left of it, I don't know, good luck if he can salvage that. But when it comes to business, he can't afford to lose any more business deals. Anyway, guys, let's talk about it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Until the very next one, thank you for your support and bye, guys.